Sweet. That should be a lot better. Man, so we'll just sit here and wait for people to jump on real quick.
And Jeff's here from the start.
Mutt Jeff. You never heard about it?
He said, "Where's Jeff?"
Yeah, you know who Mutt Jeff is?
No.
You have to look it up. It's ancient. So.
Oh.
Woo! Here we go. Should work a lot better. I changed. I've got 2 Wi-Fi networks. Sometimes one is bogged down with my kids' junk, so I switch over to the other one. So, thanks, man. Hey, Steve. What up, man? Hey, Austin. Austin Redding. I've heard that name before. I don't know where. Oh, and he's eating pizza and drinking orange juice. What's my favorite lure ever, rather than a fluke? It would be either a chatterbait or a lipless crankbait. John Bolton, how's it going, man? When the water is hot in the summer, what is my favorite deep water bait? A drop shot. Greetings from Tennessee. Jason, that's cool. I was just in Tennessee today.
You should.
What? Oh, idiot with a rod. I have this little block button I can use. Okay. What's up, man? Yes, we are slackers. So we're having our this short little Q&A, mainly because we have been slacking. Ryan went home and visited some friends this weekend.
Played some hockey,
and then I kind of did dad stuff and worked around the farm and had to. Leaves are starting to grow on fruit trees and things like that, so I had to go cage up those trees to keep the deer from eating everything. They killed several of my fruit trees last year, so I didn't want to have it happen this year. But anyway, been doing some work, and so we haven't been fishing. The weather hasn't been cooperating at all. It was supposed to storm all day today, and it didn't storm until like 20 minutes ago. So today wasn't a waste, though. I went all the way up to Sparta, Tennessee, and picked up a bunch of Jackson kayaks for our trip down to Texas this week. We head out tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and going all the way to Houston, Texas, nonstop. Going to haul butt down there and be at, what's the booth number?
233.
233 at the Bassmaster Classic Expo. It will be the Fishing Shirt of the Month booth. So I'll be there most of the time. I'm doing a few things with 13 during the day. And I'll be at the Seaguar booth from noon until 1 o'clock. So let me turn off this computer so you can get better lighting. There we go. That's a lot better. So, no, Ryan is not my kid. Might as well be, though. Whoa. What is better, chatterbait with a swim bait or as a trailer or a craw? Oh, gosh, either or, really. Just depends on what I've got in the boat. I usually put a paddle tail on, but I know some of the best anglers in the world that fish it with a little twin tail trailer.
Davey Height is the best. Or no. Brett Height is the best chatterbait angler in the country, and he fishes it with a swim Senko.
Sweet. So Chad's going to be at Seaguar too. That's cool.
Someone asked who is the dark horse to win the classic.
Who's the dark? Ooh.
So you're going to have to wait for our prediction video.
Yeah, we got a couple of videos we're going to work on tonight and on our way down there tomorrow. Kind of a precursor to the classic, but man, I don't know who the dark horse would be. Good question. Man, hey, real quick, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that little subscribe button that you're looking at.
This is the right channel, right? You did it. You didn't do it on the review channel this time?
I don't think so. We got 287 people on there.
Right.
So
I'm just making sure. I
screwed it up last time. What's the best cheap reel for casting moving baits? Whichever one you can afford, really. I mean, Lou's makes some really good reels at that lower price point, $70, $75, $80. And you know, I've broken a few of their reels, but that was just because I beat the crap out of my equipment anyway. So,
is Abu Garcia a good brand? They used to be.
Yeah, they're not as good as they used to be. They went plastic. What's the best sunglasses in color for fishing? I have 3 different types of sunglasses that I wear. I use the yellow ones for low light condition. I use anything, and you can't see very much with this one, but blue or green. But the back of them, it's mainly what you're seeing through the back. These are gray lenses.
Has nothing to do with it.
This is just pretty blue. It doesn't have anything to do with what you see through the glasses. And so blue or green are the ones I use.
Someone just put by pupils.
By pupils.
Oh, that's funny.
Thanks, Inshore. Appreciate it, man. Inshore Yacker, that was a
Favorite buzzbait.
favorite buzzbait.
Warrior buzzbait's killer. The Warpath.
The Warrior buzzbait. You know what? The buzzbaits that I love, the guy that made them for me, it no longer is, well, bless his soul, he's not here with us anymore. So I don't get any.
Dude, it made me laugh about someone that died like that.
Well, you knew him.
I know, but you can't say it.
Oh, sorry. Poor Carl.
Now you gotta tell the story who Carl is so we don't sound like
Carl.
holes.
No, you just got to know Carl to know why we talk like that. Great guy.
Oh.
Thanks, guys, man. I appreciate all the good comments. Peter, what do you want to know about the Chrome Fate? Best 13 rods under $200. Man, the Muse Blacks, they're under $200, and I love them. But I won't be pushing them that hard because I just feel like I can bring you guys more value by fishing, the chromes and the fake chromes and the fake blacks instead of the Muse ones. So, why use tungsten weight? Good question. And we'll start. You want me to?
Tungsten is 50% denser than lead. Is that what it is? 50%?
Something like that. Yeah, a lot.
It's a lot denser than lead. So what that does is it transmits like bottom content back to you. You get more of I don't know. I can't word. This is why we edit our videos.
Because it is denser than lead, you get. Thanks, Ryan. Whose shower would you be
We'll answer that question in a minute.
That's a good question. But anyway, so because it's denser than lead, it allows it to it transmits vibration a whole lot better up your line into your rod than anything else, and so you feel everything. So you're able to get more information from the end of your line to your hand and to your head with using tungsten than you would with lead. That's why I prefer tungsten. And the way I've bought it over the years is I basically put aside $20 a month, and just that was my budget for tungsten. And whether I needed it or not, I took a $20 bill and I would go buy $20 worth of tungsten. I did it for 2 or 3 years, and before I knew it, I had all the tungsten that I needed, and I just took care of it and didn't lose it like I always lost lead. So what was the question?
They said if you were Parascope, this is a biased question or biased answer because
well, you know what I'm gonna say,
and you know what I'm gonna say.
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say in my shower.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
soap's gonna want to be with me. So.
Oh yeah, that would be my answer too, because I got a little bitty shower. One person.
Oh, so you agree?
Yes, I totally agree.
Answer.
Yes, for
okay,
one.
so the soap would be with me, Ryan.
Yeah.
Varnon.
So, do you trout fish? I used to. I grew up fly fishing. I grew up trout fishing. Been to some of the best trout destinations in the country with my dad back, I don't know, when I was 15, 16, 17 years old. Just had an absolute blast. Peter, thank you, brother. Water temp is 76 in Arizona right now, and deep lakes. What are the bass doing? And I can't find them. They should at 76. They should be out on the end of points and just off the edge of wherever current breaks that are on the lakes. If there's any current in the lake, they're out about to start looking for oxygen. So I know there's no grass out there, but you got to go look for current, either wind driven or driven by whatever water's coming in.
Dylan Adams just asked a question about the Classic. Guys, we're going to be releasing a Classic prediction video very soon here. On our way to Houston, we're going to film it and put it out there. What we think the weight's going to be each day, big bass, if we think it's going to be a sight fishing tournament or the whole 9 yards.
We'll get into that. So Angler X asked Lowrance Hook 7 or Ray Marine Dragonfly 7.
That's
I'm going to say Ray Marine. Just because the detail is a whole lot better from my experience. Now, I haven't experienced the newest set of Ray Marines, but they can't be worse than the ones I used to have. So they were really good.
And yes, Gene has put me in a kayak. Today I just got my
big rig.
My Jackson big rig, and it is. Jesse New, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Jesse, my man. Love you, brother. I know who that is. There is some gas money. Dude, you're a stud.
Anyway, but yeah.
We're going to go fishing again on Wadawi, I promise.
Yes, Chad, it has a power pole. I've already been tricked once by Chad with power poles when he let me get about 5 yards from the bank my second time ever in a kayak. And then he somehow managed to link his power pole controller up with my power pole and had me 5 yards from the ramp
with 8 feet of water.
In 8 feet of water, buried down in the bottom, and
he couldn't get out.
I was trying to paddle my way through the power pole, and it video coming soon. I hope you have video of it because
Tackle Junkie just got on. That's awesome.
Tackle Junkie. I don't know his name yet. What's his?
Huh?
What's Tackle Junkie's name?
What's Tackle Junkie's name?
Yeah.
You don't know his name?
No, I don't know him yet.
I'm gonna make you figure it out.
Okay. Well, Tackle Junkie, I'm gonna be learning your name pretty soon.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, guys. So basically, what happening is that Chad then let me. I was trying to lift the power pole up, and I did, and then put it up into the branches of the trees above me, and then got myself stuck that way, and ended up having to basically do a plank on my kayak to get unstuck. It was awful, but hilarious.
All right, so Austin asked, "Hey Fluke, is a 6'8" medium heavy Ducket T-Rex a good Texas rig rod and jig rod?" I have never used the T-Rex, and if you fart again,
I just wanted to take
I've never used the T-Rex rod. 6'8" is a little short for a jig rod. Probably okay for a short casting Texas rig rod though. I'd go up to a 7 foot, 7'3". So I'm so glad that didn't stink. I'd have to kick you out of this room. So, sweet, Gerald. Appreciate it, brother. You're awesome. Let's see. Where to get good jigs in bulk? Actually, I don't know where to get them in bulk. I used to have mine poured, but you had to buy like 1,000 of them. That was a long time ago. The cheapest place I know to get jigs that are already tied is Seabird Outdoors. He's always had good prices and really good quality jigs. You can probably find them for less, but you're not going to find that quality. So, Kevin, what's up, man?
He makes good baits. I've got a bass over 10 pounds in one of his jigs.
Yep. Do I ever fish Rocky Mountain in Rome? It is 3.5 miles that way as the crow flies. It takes me about 15 minutes to get there. So, yeah, we fish it. I fish it quite often. Ryan's been there once.
We didn't have a good time there. My first time there.
Yep. Yeah, there was a lot of fish biting. They just weren't biting what we were throwing. Wow, look at these comments. Sorry, guys, if we don't get to your comments, it's because they are flying by. Man, there's 306 people on. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit it down there. And we are blowing this place up and doing a ton of videos. So it's a lot of fun. Well, he blew it up. He's also breaking a lot of my rods. When are you coming to Houston and where? We are leaving tomorrow morning, Austin, at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to Houston. We're going to be down there at the expo at booth 233 most of the day. So
3.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the fishing shirt of the month booth. So where's my $100?
Dude, these things are coming in quick.
And we might, well, I wouldn't mind having a meet and greet, but the best thing to do is just come to the Classic Expo, man, so I can meet everybody I possibly can. That would be awesome.
Chad's supposed to have some nice bright custom shirts for me to wear around so you can recognize
If you were to fish Ohio in the spring, what would your go-to bait first thing out of the boat? It's going to be the same thing as anywhere, really. It just depends on the water temperature. But I always start with a moving bait, and I'm either going to throw a square bill, a lipless crankbait, a spinner bait, or a chatterbait. Those four, those are my confidence search baits.
Our bass is a bass.
Is a bass.
Someone just asked if you would use Ish's flipping hook. Why don't you give
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you just...
I absolutely love the design of Ish Monroe's flipping hook. I've been using it for 8 months. The only problem with it, and I almost lost my religion over this, is that it rolls a tip easier than any hook I've ever fished. Well, no. As easy as any other tip I've ever hook I've ever fished that the tip rolls. I mean, it It pisses me off. Remember that? I was ready to throw stuff out of the boat because I lost a 4-pounder. I set the hook, brand new hook. I just put it on the rod, set the hook, brought it in, and the tip had rolled on the hook set, and I wasn't able to get the fish in. And I was
Chad,
mad.
Ish's hook almost got Gene to not be FBM anymore.
Yep.
So
we won't talk about that. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, it's not as great as I thought it would. I still am a huge fan of Ultra Point
is
hooks.
blocking me from reading the comments.
At Ultra Point
and I'm
hooks.
trying. That's my job.
So never fished in Ohio. I've hunted in Ohio, but I haven't fished there.
All right, here's a good one.
Yep.
Rocky lakes with no grass.
Rocky lakes with no vegetation.
Well, I guess there's nothing else to the question. But
Yep. My suggestion would, and I know you're looking for lures and stuff like that, but to be able to locate those bass, oh my gosh.
I would look for transition spots in those rocks where the rocks change size.
Yep.
That if there's a long stretch of rocks where everything's the same size, then and where the rocks either get smaller or larger. Anytime there's that, that's also those transition spots are a big deal for bass, especially this time of year. So I definitely take a look at that.
Yep. Thanks, Mr. Matt.
Mr. Matt, appreciate
That's
it.
awesome, brother. How to switch from pond fishing to lake fishing. Basically what I do is I try to I basically pick a small spot on the lake, and I just fish that spot just like it's a small lake or a small pond.
So take your knowledge that you've gotten from fishing ponds, and you want to apply that out onto big lakes, and just like Gene said, find a small area on a map that you like, and fish it that way. This is a good question.
Keep it. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit so we
Caleb Boone said, "Will it hurt a female to pull them off the bed?" We're not biologists here, so this is just my opinion. I don't believe that it will hurt a female to pull that off the bed. I believe that if you pull a male off the bed, it will, because the male's job is to guard the bed. A lot of times the females will step in if the male isn't doing a good job, or if you just happen to get there at the right time when a female is on the bed and locked on when she's laying her eggs, or just after. So I don't think it really hurts the female, but that's not, again, I'm not a biologist, so
Now, a lot of people say, bed fishing can hurt the population of bass on the lake, and I guess it depends on the size of the lake. But I've seen way too many females spawning deeper than 10 feet to think that it has that big of a detriment, at least here in the South. I know up north, you guys, the bass are not the top of the food chain, so you have all those toothy critters, pike and muskie and things like that eat the bass, and it's a whole different world. But down here in the South, it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
Another thing, too, is that the past few years of how that spawn went, I don't think fishermen can really have an impact on the spawn. I think it has to do with how the lake's doing as a whole and whether the spawns have been successful or not, and that's when you can start affecting them, if
Rich, why are you asking me? Rich says, when's the Mayfly kayak video coming out? I just picked that thing up today. I gotta get some time on it first. What do you think about the Whopper Plopper? It is a fish catching bait. It really is. Chad Hoover's a big believer in it. I am. It works better in windy conditions than a buzzbait. And a buzzbait works better than a Whopper Plopper when there's no wind.
That's right, Chad. Osprey can certainly affect the spawn. Yes, caffeine shads are good flukes. They're any soft plastic jerkbait is a good fluke. They all do well.
Where do bass go in ponds when water is cold, deep, to water that's a little bit more stable?
And that's all relative on the depth of the lake.
Yep, it really is.
Some of those ponds are 6-7 feet deep. So
yeah. I'm not a fan of the double plopper. So just never have been a fan. I just think it's just they designed it to just sell them. Not really to buy.
But here's the thing: if you have the double plopper and you want to know something good to do with it, message Chad.
Yeah, Chad Hoover knows a really good way
he can get you set up.
What are you looking for?
I need a notepad.
Oh, okay.
I need to write some math.
All right, man, those things are flying up. Best tactic for ice off when it's 50 degrees in ponds with soft bottoms that you can't cast into the middle.
Lipless crankbait.
Yeah, moving bait, lipless crankbait, spinner bait, chatterbait, that kind of stuff.
Dad, bro.
Just don't let it settle in the bottom. So
those sour faces.
They're not in there.
I need a pin.
Oh. Keep answering questions, Ryan.
Does Mountain Dew stop a fish from bleeding? I'm pretty sure they do, but again, I don't.
I've never done it because I have
Yeah.
this stuff called Please Release Me that I get that's made by Sure Life Labs.
I think I've seen a video where someone used it to stop bleeding, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it does. So
Yeah, MTV versus LTB. I'll never get a Lucky Tackle box.
live target. Someone wants to know about the live target sunfish.
Okay, let me explain to you guys how to catch a fish with a live target sunfish. Okay, it requires 2 rods and 2 baits. You have the sunfish tied onto a topwater, a heavy topwater rod, and you have, and this is fishing mats, and then you have a little punch bait, like a little small creature bait tied onto a Texas rig that's pegged, and you fish that live target sunfish across the grass, and the fish come up and blow up on it, and 99 times out of 100 you miss the fish because it's a horrible hookup ratio. So then you take and you pick up, you immediately pick up the Texas rig, you throw it in the hole because then you know the fish is sitting right there, and let it sink down, and almost instantly you'll get a bite and set the hook. That's how you catch a fish on a sunfish, on a live target sunfish.
Oh, and guys, I've seen a couple comments on here just as they're flying by about what's going on with me. Today is day 60, and I just wanted to thank everyone for their support. The messages that we've received, the letters, emails, everything has just really been incredible to see this community and how much you guys are. It's just really blown me away how nice and supportive everyone's been. So
yeah,
just wanted to thank everyone for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, or like Chad says, you can throw the sunfish in a tree and fish with a punch bait. That's true. That's another way of doing it. Really well marketed, though. Would I recommend a Ned rig for cold water? Yes, it's a really good cold water bait. Do I throw big swim baits? The bull shad, I have an 8-inch, and I have the biggest one. I think it is a 9-inch or a 10. I can't remember. I got a big old monster one that I throw. I don't throw them very often. Don't have a lot of confidence in big swim baits, but this is the year. I finally have a good swim bait rod. The reels are in the mail, hopefully, and so I'll be able to really tear things up.
All right, this guy's asked about Lanier.
When are we going to fish Lanier?
I do want to fish Lanier because that's my home lake. So
we're just going to have to put it on the schedule. We've got a lot going on in the next 2-3 weeks. We're not going to be back home for at least 2 weeks.
And when you fish Chickamauga day in and day out,
yeah, you don't want to go to Lanier.
I love Lanier, but it's hard to go to. It's hard to go back to Lanier when Chickamauga is just. Killing it. Fruit Loops or Frosted Flakes? Absolutely Frosted Flakes.
I don't eat either.
He doesn't like cereal. It's the weirdest thing.
Yep. What PDF do I use? I use the NRX Chinook, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
NRS, I think.
Or NRS, I'm sorry. Did I say NRX?
Yeah.
Oops.
It's all right.
Somebody's going to get me a Clemson hat. Okay, I need something to wipe the slime off my hands. Flukemastr River episode out of the kayak.
We're working on that.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's about that time. We just haven't had a chance. Everything has gotten really busy with the classic coming up and traveling and things like that. So,
do you think the Huddleston is a bad idea when you don't have trout, even though they make shad colors?
Mm-mm.
The Huddleston is a fantastic bait, and it doesn't swim like a trout. They just make trout patterns. It swims like a shad. A lot of these swim baits have this big an S series or S motion, and most bait fish don't swim like that. If you ever watch a bait fish swim, you don't really see its tail move.
Yeah.
So the Huddleston is a great bait imitator.
Yeah.
Because you don't see a lot of crazy swimming going on with bait fish.
Yeah, Monaco. No, we're not going to fish Conroe. We're going to the expo. I've got to work the expo for my own booth, and plus I've got a couple of sponsors booths I'm going to. I am going to do something really, really cool for those guys who are going to the expo. Me and 13 Fishing are going to walk around, and we're going to do kind of like the jaywalking thing that you see on Jay Leno. I'm going to go up. I'm going to ask people 3 questions, and anybody that can get all 3 questions right, I think they said something, and don't quote me on this one, but they said something about giving away rods and reels. So that'll be really, really cool. We're going to get it all on video.
What's the difference between regular Seagar and Red Label?
Regular Seagar. What's regular Seagar?
I think they're just talking about a Brazex or Invisex.
Oh, Invisex. Red Label's good for like leader material. But if you're going to put a full spool on your line,
It's too stiff, man.
yeah, it's too stiff.
And the other thing too is it's not as thin of a diameter as
One is red.
as the Invisex or the Brazex. So
Yeah.
the Brazex has and Invisex, the higher dollar stuff is a thinner diameter.
Yeah, best jig or frog rod. My favorite frog rod is a 6'5" heavy. My favorite jig rod is a 7'3" medium heavy. So I don't fish any of the BD baits, so I don't know.
What's the best spring lure? If I could pick one, it would be a lipless crankbait.
Yep.
Would that be yours too?
Yeah. Somebody said they're fishing Rocky Mountain on Sunday. I will bet money that they're spawning.
You can only throw one bait in all conditions.
Shaky head
Shaky head or a
drop shot.
Senko.
Yeah. What's my favorite soft plastic during pre-spawn, post-spawn? That's two different things. Pre-spawn, I'm going to throw a creature bait on a Texas rig or on anything I'm throwing. And post-spawn, I'm going to throw a shad pattern, like a fluke or something like that. So it just all depends on, those are two different types of things. No MTB promo codes except for, I don't even know if they do get $4.99 anymore.
Someone has asked what our favorite bait was in the. Has the new box been delivered to everybody yet, or is it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. My favorite one out of the new box is probably that live target crankbait they have in there.
Really? I like that little Ned rig jig.
Oh, I forgot about the Ned rig.
Yeah, the Ned rig
yeah,
jig
that
is-
Ned rig jig looks pretty good. But I'm interested to see how that live target works. We're going to be doing a head-to-head slam pretty soon, so
Yep.
we're gonna.
That little Ned rig jig is actually was a top secret bait of a bunch of the friends of mine who kayak tournament fish, and so some of them aren't very happy that Z-Man started making them. Let's see. Have y'all been to Lake? No, Wimico. I don't even know how to pronounce it. In White City, Florida. No, sure haven't. Mac and cheese or tuna sandwich?
Mac and cheese.
Tuna. I like tuna sandwiches.
I like macaroni and cheese.
What pound test for fluorocarbon leader? That just depends on what rod and what your and what technique you're fishing, really. So I do fluoro leader on almost all of my stuff except for my cranking stuff and one jig rod. If I were to fish a pond with average depth of 8 feet with a pocket that's 30 feet, where would you start? Where the deepest water is closest to the bank is where I would start. And I'd work out from there. I always, no matter where I'm fishing, on any lake, anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, I'm going to look for the deepest water in the area that I picked to fish, and I'm going to find where that deepest water is closest to the shallowest water, which is the bank. And that's where I'm going to start.
Best leader knot, FG.
The FG knot is the best leader knot. Yep. If it's a lipless crankbait, how would I fish it shallow?
Keep your rod tip up.
Yep.
Use heavier line
and a higher speed reel.
And if they'll eat it, sometimes the bait fish they're keen on are smaller. You can go down to a 1/4 ounce. That'll help a lot too.
Yep.
Sometimes even an 1/8 ounce. But if they're eating some of the bigger bait fish and you need to throw a 1/2 ounce, just make sure you keep the rod tip up real quick. Don't make as long a cast and use heavier line.
Yeah. Why copolymer? Copolymer kind of gives you the best of both worlds. I'm finally switching away from it, but I've fished it for so many years. What it does is it's a monofilament that's wrapped with fluorocarbon. You get you a little bit more abrasion resistance, a little less stretch, and it's really good for top water, and it's an inexpensive line if you can't afford the expensive stuff. And so copolymer is great. Seaguar just came out with a new monofilament that I'm pretty excited about trying out on my cranking stuff, just to see in my top water stuff. But I've kind of started to switch to all braid and fluorocarbon leader, or at least mostly.
This is a really good question. So Joe M says, permission to fish 2 small 8-acre ponds. The owner makes us keep any fish we catch. We have tried to catch and release. Any advice on how to educate him? We don't want to ruin the fish. It's been great. All right, so here's the deal, okay? Keeping bass, we have been indoctrinated these last 10 or 15 years that if you don't catch and release, you are this awful human being that has no compassion for future bass fishermen. That's such a lie. It's not true at all.
Especially in small ponds.
It's called selective harvesting, and it's extremely important. Now, of course, if you catch a 5 pound plus bass, of course you're not going to want to throw it back. And if this pond owner has said,
you're going to want to throw it back.
Yeah, I mean, if he's said that you got to keep every fish, I'd of course take the chance on throwing that one back. But talk to him, about just releasing the bigger fish, but taking those smaller fish, 3 pounds and under, out of that lake is actually going to make the fishing better. You're not going to ruin the fishing whatsoever. You're going to make it so that for the next couple years, the fishing's even better.
Yep.
So there's less competition for the food.
And the fish grow faster. A bass will grow every day of its life so long as it gets food. If you have an overpopulation of bass, you starve them and stunt their growth, and they're not going to grow.
And I've literally seen some of my best small ponds that I used to fish. I've gone back and fished them years later. They've been completely trash. The fish are super skinny, and they're way overpopulated. Yeah, Fishing with Will just says, yay, I'm a fish biologist and have been trying to explain this to people. Will, I hope we explained that right. You're a professional. This is just what we've learned from the biologists that worked at the lake that we guided on. And, we just see so many bass fishermen get so upset over people keeping it. Even if a guy catches and keeps his 10-pounder, guys, there's plenty of other big fish that are going to stay in the lake.
Yep.
So don't get all up in arms about it, and don't hate on people for keeping their fish. So that's why the laws are the way they are, because there's fish limits, and it's okay to keep those fish.
Yep. Any plans to fish Kentucky Lake? We will be at the KBF Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship not this weekend of the Classic, but the following weekend. And you guys feel free to come and meet me and Ryan and so on and so forth. But just come by the KBF National Championship in. Can you excuse me?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to explain this. I'm trying to promote Chad's stuff, and you're jacking things up. Oh, but anyway, it's in Paris, Tennessee. So I'll let Chad beat Ryan for totally ruining that little promo deal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
that was funny.
The Classic is in Houston, Texas. It's actually on Lake Conroe. Favorite braid is Smackdown by Seagars, my favorite. I ever fished Lake Eufaula? Yes. I one of the things I'm really proud of myself is I wasn't super good at. I was still learning how to find fish several years ago. The first time I fished Eufaula, I caught a fish on my 4th cast, and it was a 6-pounder in 24 feet of water on a jig. I was so proud of myself for that one fish. It was pretty funny. So we might come to Minnesota this year. So let's see. Best pre-spawn lures. Somehow chatterbait is not working this year. What would you throw? Lipless crankbait, but probably what you're doing with that chatterbait is you're not letting it touch the bottom. You basically vary your retrieve so where you're just getting the vibration off the bottom, and then you just stop it for a second, let it hit the bottom. It works better when you're making contact with something like grass or the bottom, and you'll get more bites.
Someone was asking what days you're going to be at the booth. It's going to be every day, right?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
In the morning, and then the only time I'm not going to be there is when I'm working with 13 for an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, and then from 12 noon to 1 o'clock I'll be at the Seagar booth. Probably the best thing to do is to find me at the Seagar booth between 12 and 1, because that's it's set in stone, and I'm guaranteed to be there. And if I'm not at the Fishing Shirt of the Month booth, Ryan will be there to tell you where I'm at. So he's going to be my boy.
Yep. Someone just asked, when will the next world record largemouth be caught? I don't think it's ever.
You hit the block button and not put him in timeout.
So I don't think that the world record is going to be beat anytime soon. If it does, it's going to be a genetic mutant. But
Dylan, man, congratulations! He's on day 365.
Oh, awesome, man! That seems impossible, but
nope, he can do it.
We'll be there. That's
okay. This is a good one. Richard said, "I love SmackDown too, but I find that the FG knot does not hold as well." Okay, Smackdown is a smooth braid. Any smooth braid, no matter what the brand, you have to make sure you wrap more than 20 times. I actually wrapped 30 times with Smackdown, mainly with the smaller stuff. And as you get larger and larger, you can get away with fewer wraps. But I always go at least 25 and usually 30 wraps instead of just 20. And then make sure you pull everything tight. So, he creeps. Sorry guys, that's my phone. Let's see. Could I fish with just black finesse worm and a Gamakatsu 2/0 EWG? Why not? I do it on a, if there's no weight to it, I do it on a spinning rod though. So what time is it? It's 9:39. We're gonna do this for 10 more minutes, and then I've got to edit the snot out of some videos. So we can have stuff to launch this week. Hopefully,
putting a whole bunch of emojis is going to make sure that your question does not get answered. Like it guarantees it. So we're reading it over and over and over again, but we're not going to even touch on that subject. So.
Yeah. Why don't I like Lucky Tackle Box? It has nothing to do with what's inside the box. It has everything to do with their business. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I've had, I get to see the other side of the fishing world, and I'm really, I'm not going to lie to people, so I really get upset when I'm lied to. It really does. That's one of my 2 rules in life. Don't lie to me and don't steal from me, and I'm a happy man. So.
And someone was asking the lipless crankbait if they use chrome on sunny days or cloudy days. Definitely use chrome on sunny days. Yeah. So you're kind of wasting your time. You're not wasting your time, but there's a lot better colors you can throw on cloudy days. So make sure to use that chrome in the sunny weather.
Yeah. Am I going to fish in Florida this year? Probably not. Probably not this spring. Probably next winter. I'll be doing it. So.
Best frog is definitely the Spro Bronzeye frog, at least in my opinion. I know there's a lot of good ones on the market, but
there's like a bunch of good ones. Who will catch the first 10-pounder this year between you two and make a bet?
I would guess it would be me, just because of
he's the big fish magnet. I mean,
yeah, it's weird.
Yep. I couldn't even catch my first 10-pounder. He netted my 9.98 back. 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. So, Ryan, when are you going to fish at BFLs today? Hey, Steven, how you doing, brother? If you're going to be at the Classic, man, you better find me.
Probably going to be next season, and it'll be the Bulldog division, and possibly one of the Tennessee. And I was thinking about fishing 3 next year, so
just depends on how much money he's making.
Bulldog, and then somewhere in the Tennessee, and either Savannah River or somewhere in Alabama. I don't know what they call those divisions, but the Bulldog is definitely the most competitive. It's good. So
yeah. Somebody asked if I have tried favorite fishing products. Not yet. I'm going to see if I can pick up a couple at the Classic. I've seen a couple of them break on the Guggen's videos, but kind of has me concerned, but not too much. I'm just going to go give them a try. Best time of day to fish bedfish when there's good sun. Why won't let me block that son of a gun? But let's see. Yeah, when it's a sunny day, it's usually easier just because you can see better in the deal. Wow, we're way behind. So let's see. Best big crankbait reel. Keep asking questions. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Someone keeps asking about using 12-inch worms in the summertime. It's definitely a good time of the month or a good time of the year to use, bigger soft plastics. So yes, Corey, I see that you keep asking that. If you go onto the Flukemastr channel and watch the video "Who is Ryan," it is on there, and that all can be answered for you. So anyway, let's see. What is the best weighted swim bait? I don't know about weighted swim baits. This weighted soft plastic. Let's see. What other lures to use when they are hitting jerk baits? Do I like fishing in the wind while kayaking? Absolutely not. I absolutely hate it. And my first time ever in a kayak.
Yep, I stuck him on a windy lake in 25-mile-an-hour winds in a Coosa HD, which catches wind anyway. So here, Ryan, go fishing.
So within half an hour, I got blown into a cove, was pushed against a grass bed, and I just put the rod down and stopped fishing for the rest of the day. I was done. I hate it. So we Inshore Yacker TV. We're really hoping to fish some more saltwater this year. I know Gene's done a lot more saltwater fishing than I have, so I would like to.
That's Mark Schellenberger has a good question. Any problems with 13 rod tips breaking? Only.
I have a problem.
Well, he breaks them because he don't know how to boat flip. The only time I've ever had a problem with any tips breaking, and they were on the duckets and everything else, is when I reel that tungsten weight up into the tip and I'm not paying any attention. I'm going pretty fast. So anyway, I'm gonna see what I can do about this guy right here real quick. Don't move it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let's see. What to use in flooded water? When the water's flooding, they definitely push up shallow, and we're on B Adventure. We're working on getting rid of the troll. So, but yeah, when the lakes or rivers flood, the fish move up as the water's rising. The fish will rise with it. So definitely go and fish whatever shallow cover that you can find. And I like to flip to it. If they're not holding on that cover real tight, use a big bladed spinner bait. That'll usually work, like a big Colorado blade, something like that. And just move with the water as it moves up. Keep pushing deeper and deeper into the flooded stuff, and you'll do all right.
Yeah. Trip asked, "What's the best 13 reel for the price?" My favorite one's the Concept A.
Someone was asking about $1,000 kayak, the best $1,000 or under kayak. I know we get asked this a lot.
Yeah, Chad knows. It's the... Oh, what does he always answer? Chad, go and answer that so I can figure out what it is.
Have a good one, Rich.
God, this dude it won't let me block him, so...
We apologize about the troll, guys.
Yep. But,
Try not to laugh.
Anyway. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get off of here before we get it. So, and this guy's actually African-American, so I don't know why he's...
You don't know the whole story behind it.
Oh, okay.
There's a story.
Well, I don't care about the story. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get off here and jump on and go edit. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll talk.
We'll see you at the Classic, booth 233.
Yep.
We'll see you out there.